Execution videos are a type of videos where a character disliked or hated by the video's creator is shown being given the death penalty. Most of these are wrongful executions, the victims usually being put into this situation for very minor infractions, or some executions would be death sentences for a character who commits crimes that are serious offenses. 6 reasons will be given why they should be executed. 1. To point this out, all of these videos are not only disrespectful, but they are also purely unrealistic and violates human rights. As stated above, the person getting executed would be an outdated children's show character, mostly Caillou, Little Bill, Dora, etc., which is worse than opinion bashing. 2. In the grave scene, the people celebrate the victim's death, which is extremely disrespectful and very heartless, even if the victim was infamous. 3. When the characters had already been through so much despair, misery, and torture, they are shown going to hell, meaning that they will have to suffer even further. 4. Some plot holes, lack of realism, historical inaccuracies, and even beyond logic excuses. The characters will be executed for very minor infractions, most notably making fake VHS openings, cheating on a test, or getting in dead meat on a behavior card day. It would make sense if they were just given a timeout/suspended/detention, pay a fine, grounded for a certain period of time, or they can admit the mistake, take the consequences, or get a second chance/warning and move on. With them learning from their mistakes, making amends, and redeeming themselves. Most of these death row inmates seen in these videos are minors, when in reality, it is against the law for them to be given the death penalty. The victim tends to get an unfair trial, if any at all. They also would spend a single day in death row. Mostly of all, how did the victim get into death row at the first place? Most of the victims are executed by the electric chair, even though it was phased out in favor of lethal injection. 5. These videos are disrespectful to people with close relatives that may have been executed for similar reasons. And lastly, 6. To add salt onto the wound, these videos may have kangaroo courts involved, which violates human rights and can be considered opinion bashing. The only redeeming quality is, there are some videos where the characters get executed for fair and realistic reasons, such as committing crimes that are serious offenses or being a high-risk criminal, which will be a death sentence. However, this is rare to come across. However, there are some variations that has to be given out. The execution scene in Warren Cook Gets Grounded. The movie somewhat resembles the execution of Ted Bundy towards the end of the 2002 film of the same name. Common elements include Cook refusing a disgusting last meal, and his head being shaved before execution. Some cases they would use dry sponge on the victim's head. Some executions would be taken in a form of a firing squad, where the victim, usually a high-risk wanted criminal, gets killed and shot dead. How these videos can avoid being awful. The best choice is to have the troublemakers who committed a minor misdeed be grounded or be warned, given a timeout/suspension/detention, instead of just being executed. 2. Have the judge do nothing to the troublemaker. And lastly, 3. If someone is getting executed, have it be a high-risk criminal.